Right, it's 10 AM on Monday the 23rd of April and I'm about to make a video. Why am I making this video? Well, I'm an insomniac. I suffer from insomnia. That's nothing any of my friends or people who know me, it's nothing new. It's been in and out of my life since I was, well, some of my very earliest memories. What happens is my brain and my body are detached. They're two separate units rather than being one as a whole. What will happen is it'll get to late in the day or at night, and my body will send a message going, hey man, I'm pretty tired, and my brain at that point will go, yeah, I agree, let's go to bed. I'll go lay down, and then my brain will kick back in and say, oh hey, while we've got the lights off and everything's quiet and I've got your attention, let's just have a little chat. 2017 was absolutely nuts for me, like enough to give anyone sleepless nights. On top of only being like a year deep into a business, well, less than a year deep into a business, we had some really important family things come up as well. My mother-in-law was diagnosed with dementia, and that brought up some tricky questions. My father-in-law, he's, you know, to be fair to the guy, he's getting on in age himself, and not really in a position to be a caregiver for my mother-in-law, much as he would want to. And we got into a situation where we had to have that really horrible conversation about the possibility of care homes. Now, obviously, that was really upsetting, and nobody wanted to have that conversation. First of all, it upset my wife. It upset my mother-in-law. She really didn't want to do that. It upset my father-in-law. They didn't want to move out of their own house. So it turns out that they actually live in quite a large property, and it was like garage space and extra rooms and things like that weren't being used. So rather than moving them out and into a care home, which, hey, who can afford to do that anyway, despite it not being a great idea or what anybody wanted to do. But it meant renovating part of their house and remodelling part of their house, and us moving in, so we're on site to give care. I mean, you know, hey, anybody, I'm definitely not the first person who dealt with this in the family, and if any of you guys have had that with your own parents or your partner's parents, you just want to do anything that you can to help. So that did mean moving out of our house. So back at the old house. Hey, old house. Hey, old car. It did me well, that car. And there's plenty of things to do. There's always plenty of things to do. So there's been a lot of repainting and redecorating going on. Right, before we could move out of this house, move the whole family out and move in with my mother and father-in-law, we had to create a living space over there. So there was all the work that's involved with that, and you can imagine who got the job of sorting that out. Anyway, we all got moved out of here and into there, which means that we've had this place kind of hanging around that we were still paying a mortgage on, and had to basically get ready to sell. So of course, we'd been living in here for 12 years. It needed to be redecorated before we sold it. Yeah, again, that was my job. Grout Reviver is legitimately a thing and it actually works. This doesn't even work. Yeah, I'm not convinced. So you're probably thinking, yeah, well, you've got stuff to do, same as everybody's got stuff to do, it happens in everyone's life. You're only actually at work between sort of, let's say 8:30 and 6, Monday to Friday, so you've got evenings and weekends. Or hey, you know, busy time in your life, maybe you can have a word with your boss and put some time in for holidays. Right, pause for a second. This is becoming a regular and welcome break to my week. I've just had an email off Michael Bonney and I need to stop everything and reply to that. If you don't know who Michael Bonney is, then shame on you, he's an industry legend. But yeah, fun things like this happen, it's not all boring stuff. Right, that's the email things done. I get to meet a lot of people digitally, but obviously we've been up in the far north of England, like borderline Scottish borders. I don't always get to meet them in person. But hey, when things like this happen, it breaks up the day and it keeps things interesting. It's better than your standard Monday, I suppose. Right, so pause everything for the second return leg of the school run. Cheeky monkey, this is the internet. Say hi internet, cheeky monkey.
Hi internet.
Yeah. Right, back to the chip again. Man, cutting it fine again. It's like 5:45, just making it before it shuts. Where's the garden waste thing at? Yeah. Just in time. There's no way that these filled holes are going to paint over first time without putting some sort of a undercoat on them. So it's like 8:30 now and I'm sick of doing this, but I've still got loads to do. So to try and, in this situation, to try and G yourself on, I've got a live broadcast to watch. It just makes mundane tasks that little bit more interesting. Right, it's 9:15 and I've had enough, to be honest with you. I haven't really filmed or talked about hardly anything of what I wanted to talk about, but I want to get home before my kids go to bed and catch up with them. And I haven't had any tea, and anyway, let's just continue this tomorrow. It's not as simple as leaving it all till tomorrow though, is it? It's, what the hell are we looking at? It is 11:20 and we're still editing today's video. So it is, so look, it is now 25 past midnight and it now means that I can finish the editing and I can get on with washing up after the family tea. I don't know what you're thinking here. You're like, dude, where's your sink? Where's your dishwasher? Where's your kitchen? Well, until I sell that house that I'm working on there, I couldn't afford to put a kitchen in this house, so I've basically got a bit of Formica for a worktop and old school washing up bowl. So the washing up's done, all sorted. Me and Mr. Daniels are just going to have a little sit and a chat now. It's officially Tuesday, and if you're wondering what I do on my downtime, I'll take you through quietly. I watch Scotty Kramer videos. Morning. So it's fair to say that my day doesn't actually start until 10 to 9 once I've finished doing the school run. Yesterday it was 10 to 9 and I started to get some time to myself at 10 to 1. So that's 16 hours. I won't even discuss with you what time I went to bed. But I didn't suffer from any bouts of insomnia, so that's always a good thing. I know what some of you are thinking. You might be thinking, but dude, that was a Monday and you've just come off of a Saturday, Sunday off, a weekend off, and you should be fresh for the Monday. No, there's any of you that know me will have seen me up at the cabin on Saturday and Sunday. There's no weekends off. It's not so bad though. At least I get to have my coffee on the balcony and live in the balcony lifestyle. So having edited the video last night, I've realised that yesterday I didn't actually get to share with you the things that I wanted to share with you. But yesterday was just a bit of a runaround day. Today I can get that done. First, I have got a bit of an errand to run, so let's go and do that. Back at the old house again. Now that we're getting to the stage where we're really getting close and about to be putting this thing on the market, I've got some stuff that I need to move out of the back garden and just kind of make some space and make it saleable, you know, put it on show. My wife did say to me, oh man, I don't know where we're going to put this stuff out the back garden, and I said, I know exactly where we'll put it. There's 4 garden chairs. Now they've been outside all winter and they've got a bit dirty, but with a bit of a bleach and a scrub, I know right where I can put them. So on top of being a house renovator, a gardener, a removals man, a painter and decorator, I also own a brand. Now I didn't buy that brand with my clever investments with Bitcoin. I didn't buy it with money that I'd made on the stock market. I've made it. I built it myself. As well as being the videographer, photographer and media and marketing manager, I'm also in charge of land acquisition in the legal department. I carved out and built every road, every path, every track and every feature on that track up here. I do all the maintenance for the just general forestry. I repair all the roads in the winter. I'm the one who makes sure that the tracks are all ready to run, and I'm also responsible for building new tracks. Hell, I'm even the guy who cleans the toilet. Now, because of upcoming projects, I'm having to find myself more and more involved with the industry. With that, I'm getting a lot of emails and messages and even phone calls, and everything in it is plural. So an email will open with, hey guys, and close with, and if we were to send you over some product for you and the team, how many would you need? It's like, dude, just one. There's me. And obviously people don't really realise, I mean, to be fair, a lot of the riders don't realise either, but we'll get into that in a bit. It's tricky. I need to have more and more involvement with the industry because of future projects, which we'll get into around lunchtime. But yeah, it's hard and it's frustrating, and 2017 hasn't been good. But around January there, I got one email, and obviously I'd explained that I was new and I'd only been open like a year, 18 months or so, and the email I got back was it was basically saying that they were looking for, I won't name the brand, was looking to build long-term relationships, and that they were a bit concerned about once I realised how difficult it was to manage a team and how hard it was to build a bike park, and the work levels and the commitment involved, that maybe I wouldn't be long term. I was like, bitch, please do not talk to me about hard work. So this just happened on here. Hello there, little guy. Get it down, you. Get your head back in that box. Good lad. Well, that threw a bit of a curveball into the day. I wasn't expecting to see him up here today. Great news. Obviously, I'm stoked about that. It does mean that you kind of have to sound the alarm. They're a protected species, an endangered species, anyway, luckily the local red squirrel ranger Ando is one of my best mates, so just got off the phone to him. He's coming up here with some cameras, some of those trail cameras, and we're going to see if we can track his movements across the 46 acres and across some of the feeders that we've got up here. But I've almost kind of forgotten where I was. I just had that happened and I've almost forgotten where I was in the video. Anyway, I'll have a walk up and it'll come back to us. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If I were to take off my family man, father and husband hat and put on my business hat, 2017 was a terrible year. It had things happen in it that as a businessman you would say no to every time. Or should we unexpectedly move house? Should you take all the time away from the business to renovate the house that we're moving into? Should you then spend a load of time renovating and repainting the other house? Yada yada yada. All this time away from the business and only really just concentrate on the maintenance and the day-to-day running rather than progressing the business forward. Straight up businessman would be like, no way, that is a rubbish idea. We're only 18 months in. Why the hell would you want to step away from it and only do the bare minimum? But putting real world hat back on again, these things happen, man. You know, the situations go on, and things happen with mother and father-in-laws, and you just gotta get on and do it and cope with it. Not ideal. And as riders, a lot of you are asking, dude, what's going on with this build on Electric Landlady? You know, you're frustrated that it kind of stopped in 2017 and that you haven't seen the progress that you want to see on it, and there's a lot of questions like, when's it going to be open? And in all honesty, I'm frustrated too. I mean, unless I'll do something like this and give you a bit of a peek behind the scenes into my personal life, you're not to know what's going on. But life happens, these things happen, and you've got to roll with the punches. However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. All the really tricky parts of this build are now done. There's the jump at the top is just got its landing to do. There is some work to do on the one at the bottom, but hey, the one at the bottom is not actually that difficult. This one's got a little bit more woodwork to do, and then it is just a case of mattocking and raking the track through in. So labour heavy, but not difficult jobs. So I'm looking forward to open this one soon, and beginning of the summer, and we're going to have this one sessioning away. I'm really looking forward to hitting this. It's been a long time. By now you'll have seen that my house is nearly ready to go on the market. I've still got a few more 16-hour days probably to put into it, but hey, it's not far off. Whilst I'm painting and decorating and what have you, that doesn't mean that I don't think about the bike park and the future of it and what we're going to do next. Obviously, getting Electric Landlady open has been main goal, and that's now that I get off this house project and back into here full time, that's the next one to complete. But I also think about what's going to happen forwards from that. So over here is an area that I prepared a long time ago, over a year ago, but I stopped. I had to stop working in here because in the progression of the park, electric landlady had to come first. But a long time ago I did some felling in here, and you can probably see down that way there's going to be some ace jump coming in. I've already got a couple of sketches and drawings for it, and this track is basically just going to snake and wind and turn. One or two of you might have heard me talk about it before. It's currently running under the project name of Beggars Canyon. Now, as you saw from last night, I don't get a lot of downtime at night, and again, as I showed you, recently I have liked to spend, well, not for a while actually, I've liked to spend that downtime watching Scotty Kramer BMX videos. But there was a period last month, so like three weeks ago, where I didn't do that, and with my downtime, what little I had, but my downtime, I taught myself how to build 3D models. Why does that relate to a bike park? Well, you'll have heard me say throughout this video that I'm talking more and more to people within the industry. That has been something that's been kind of necessary for a project that I want to do. That it's a big project and I do need some support with it. It's not one that I can build by hand. It is something that I'm gonna need diggers in for. Well, there's only me, a digger in for, but for probably quite a period of time. I think I'm gonna need, like, from what I can gather, I think I'm gonna need like a 3-week stretch of excavator work. And I have been trying to pitch the idea of this track out to people to see if they would be willing to help, willing to invest, I suppose. Obviously the return on their investment would be the advertising on the track, and any of the videos and photographs that they choose to take, but also, if they're advertisers on the track, the videos and photographs that you guys take while you're riding it too. So yeah, let's give you a little look ahead into the future and what I'm trying to do. So any of you guys that know me will know that I'm a massive fan of Red Bull Rampage, and I'm also a huge fan of the Fest series, and I really love their style of building. I have an area of scrubland here on the park that is all the woodlands over there, and this is separate. So the progressive nature of the park over there in the woods is that you start off on small and gets bigger and bigger and bigger every time. This is separate, so we can do something a little bit different. With the Fest series, again, some of you will probably already know that, you know, 80 foot is pretty much an average sort of size for their builds, which is monster. They're just huge, innit? It's a massive build. So I'm a real big fan of that building, and I'd like to replicate that style. But what happens if we shrunk it by half and brought it to around 40 foot? Now, I don't know if this mini canyon gap's going to show up particularly well on GoPro, but each one of these poles is 1 meter long, and coming out from up there with a transition kicker built in, and all of this shaped into a nice big landing, could make for a hell of a lot of fun. As you can probably tell, a build like that, I just can't do it by hand. It is going to need an excavator, and excavators cost money. So I've had to go cap in hand to a few members of the industry. I've had replies back from people that, you know, the kind of replies that you half expect, where, especially with international companies, and I understand that as well. It's difficult for the international ones because their standard reply is, you're going to need to speak to our UK distributor. They deal with all the marketing and sponsorship for the brand in the UK. Fair enough. I haven't really, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really pursued that any further. I have done in the past, and for a lot of the distributors, you know, marketing budget is super tight, and 3 weeks excavator hire, even on getting a really good rate, is still going to be like 3 grand. So it's a lot of cash to ask from someone, especially from like a UK distributor. However, there are 1 or 2 leads that are looking rather promising. So it's all a relationship building process, and I honestly can't tell you what's going to happen about the free ride track, and I honestly can't give you a timeline on it. It's not in my control. It is something that I am trying to do, and it's something that I want to make happen. What is in my control is finishing Electric Landlady, getting it open for the summer, and using the summer's good weather and starting to bash on and getting Beggars Canyon done. I can control those 2 tracks, but the free ride, yeah, it's an ongoing project. But I suppose really it's just to let you know that, hey, I have been super distracted in 2017, but that doesn't mean that I haven't been thinking about the place. Anyway, if you've made it to the end of this video, thanks, man. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to share this with you, because it's, yeah, you know, it's been a difficult time, and unless I explain it to you and share it with you, you guys don't really have any way of knowing. There's only me at GNAR, me at the brand. I am the brand, and unless I put it out there, then how are you guys supposed to know? And you know, people kind of draw their own conclusions, not always the correct ones, but hey, now you know, now you know what's been going on. So with that, I'm going to leave it here, because it's lunchtime now and I have got stuff to do, and I think you've seen enough of me doing stuff. Anyway, I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much for your time.